How do you respond to disrespect? Disrespect is a problem that we all encounter occasionally in life, and it can be very distressing and infuriating. However, what if we could take a cue from the ancient philosophy of Stoicism, which teaches us how to face adversity with grace and wisdom? We'll look at 10 useful Stoic ideas in this video that can help us deal with disrespect more effectively. As always, I'm challenging you to be strong and stick with me through to the end. Let's begin. Number 1, keep calm. One of the primary principles of Stoicism is that our thoughts about our experiences disturb us rather than the things themselves. Epictetus once said, "People are disturbed not by things, but by the view they take of them." This means that when someone disrespects you, remember that their actions are a reflection of their own thoughts, feelings, and opinions, rather than your true value or worth. This will help you maintain your composure and prevent their disrespect from negatively impacting your emotional state. Number 2, reflect on yourself. The practice of introspection. And introspection is another crucial component of Stoicism. When faced with lack of respect, it is important to reflect on yourself and ask yourself questions like, is there any truth in what the other person said or did? Did I do or say anything that encouraged this situation? How can I respond in a way that is in accordance with my values and qualities? The Stoics believed that the quality of our thoughts determines the quality of our lives, and that we should always strive to improve ourselves and our actions. Marcus Aurelius once said that the quality of your thoughts determines the happiness of your life. Self-reflection is a Stoic technique to make sure that your responses are based on rational judgment rather than impulsive reactions. You can better understand the incident and your own role in it by reflecting on yourself and the circumstance objectively. It fosters wisdom and personal development by assisting you in drawing lessons from the circumstance. Number 3, learn to pause. When faced with lack of respect, the Stoic approach supports you to avoid reacting unconsciously instead of pausing to gather your thoughts. This moment of silence allows you to regain control over your emotions and gives you the opportunity to respond in a more measured and thoughtful manner by resisting the impulse to react. Seneca once said, "Whenever you are angry, be assured that it is not only a present evil, but that you have increased your habit." Stoics believe in the importance of self-control and reason. They argue that impulsive responses, driven by intense emotions like anger or frustration, often led to poor decisions and unnecessary pain. When faced with disrespect, you can more effectively connect your answer with Stoic ideals of wisdom and self-control. This strategy frequently results in more constructive and emotionally neutral conversations. When faced with disrespect, pausing is a crucial Stoic tactic for keeping your cool and making thoughtful judgments that will ultimately lead to more positive consequences and personal development. Have empathy. The maxim, "Seek not the good in external things, seek it in yourself," is attributed to Epictetus and other notable Stoic philosophers. Stoics hold that people are interconnected and that when someone acts disrespectfully, it can help you interact with them better and grow as a person. Stoicism advises developing empathy by trying to understand other people's perspectives and walk in their shoes. Empathy enables you to view the circumstances differently and recognize that the other person's disrespect may not be deliberate or personal. It could be brought on by their own worries, ignorance, or insecurities. By empathizing with the person who has disrespected you, you can avoid taking their words or actions personally and respond in a more dignified and respectful manner. Empathy also helps you understand the other person's perspective, feelings, and motivations. So instead of becoming defensive or angry, you can respond with kindness and respect. This will help you avoid escalating the conflict and maintain your dignity. Additionally, empathy embodies the Stoic values of self-improvement, wisdom, compassion, and wisdom. It helps you develop empathy so that you can grow as a person and learn from difficult experiences. Number 5. Concentrate on virtue. One of the key tenets of Stoicism is the cultivation of virtues like wisdom and courage, which are the attributes that enable us to live moral lives and behave properly. Famous Stoic philosopher Seneca stated that virtue is nothing more than the right reason, which implies that virtue is the same as being reasonable and in line with the natural order of things. Stoics hold that virtue is the greatest good in life and that everything else is unimportant when we encounter others' disrespect. Stoicism instructs us to concentrate on virtue. This does not mean that we should ignore or put up with the disrespect. Rather, it means that we should respond in a way that upholds our Stoic ideals and values. By emphasizing virtue, we may prevent our emotions from getting in the way of our actions. To uphold our honor and morality and develop as individuals, Stoicism pushes us to be the best versions of ourselves in trying circumstances. Number 6. Embrace acceptance. One of the most important aspects of Stoicism is learning to accept the things that are beyond our control, such as disrespecting other people's disrespect. According to Epictetus, a wise man rejoices for the things he has, rather than laments the things he lacks. This suggests that we should be content with what we have, rather than worrying about the things we do not have. The Stoic dichotomy of control, which states that we can only manage our own ideas, feelings, and behaviors, and cannot influence outside events or other people's behavior, is another skill that Stoicism teaches us to discern. Therefore, when we encounter disrespect, we should not allow it to disrupt our inner peace. Rather, we should accept it as a fact of life and concentrate on how we can better ourselves and our circumstances. By accepting disrespect with Stoicism, we can prevent unneeded rage, frustration, and resentment. We can also learn from the experience and advance as individuals, which aids in our ability to deal with disrespect in a calm and reasonable manner. Number 7. Use humor. Seneca, the great philosopher, once stated that you have conquered yourself when you know how to deal with things that you should not take seriously. Sometimes a little humor goes a long way. Stoicism stresses the importance of humor in helping us deal with difficult circumstances, while also teaching us to regulate our emotions and behave logically. When someone disrespects us, humor can help us maintain emotional equilibrium and prevent us from being overly upset or irritated. Rather than allowing our feelings to take control, we can opt to respond with a clever comment or a light-hearted joke, of course. While comedy should never be used carelessly or overly, it may be a helpful Stoic tactic to deal with disrespect in a way that leads to a more peaceful and happy conclusion. Number 8. Set clear boundaries. Stoicism is not about being a doormat. Rather, it's about being a rock that knows its worth and demands respect from others. It's about controlling what it can and letting go of what it can't. When someone treats you disrespectfully, you don't have to take it personally or react angrily. Instead, you can be calm and assertive, telling them what went wrong and how you expect them to treat you. You can also set reasonable boundaries that protect your dignity and self-respect. This is what Stoicism teaches us. It makes us strong, just, and courageous. It teaches us to keep our inner composure and our outer dignity in any circumstance. It teaches us to respect others and ourselves. Number 9. Choose forgiveness. When someone treats you disrespectfully, how would you respond? Would you lash out in rage, or would you just let it go? There is some insight in the age-old Stoic philosophy. Stoics hold that forgiveness is a gift to oneself rather than a favor to the other person. To achieve inner peace and happiness, you must choose to let go of the bad feelings that are hurting you more than anybody else. Forgiveness is not an easy process. It does not imply forgetting or accepting what happened. The Stoics teach that we should be merciful to everyone, but not blindly. Rather, we should be merciful in a just and compassionate way. By forgiving, we can release ourselves from the weight of anger and resentment and choose to move on with an inner sense of peace and tranquility. This is what Stoicism means when it teaches us to focus on what we can control and let go of what we cannot. We cannot control how others behave, but we can control how we respond. It is not an indication of weakness, but rather of strength. It is not a sign of defeat, but rather of triumph. It is not a cost, but an advantage. Ultimately, self-care and personal development come from forgiving oneself. Number 10. Change your perspective. Being able to view things from a wider, more unbiased historical perspective allows you to avoid overreacting or taking offense when someone treats you disrespectfully. Instead, it helps you realize that, in the big picture, disrespect is not that big of a deal. As the Stoic Emperor Marcus Aurelius once said, "Our life is what our thoughts make it." When you adopt a different viewpoint, you can see that most instances of disrespect are small-scale and transient. They don't impact your actual value or happiness. You can also see that disrespect is frequently a reflection of the ignorance, insecurity, or weakness of the other person rather than your own. You can choose to ignore it, forgive it, or learn from it rather than allowing it to bother you. Perspective aids in concentrating your attention on your objectives, principles, and virtues, what truly counts in life. Instead of squandering your time and energy on resentment or seeking revenge, you can live a more contented and tranquil life by pursuing what is good and meaningful for you. Therefore, the next time someone treats you disrespectfully, keep in mind that perspective will help you remain composed and behave sensibly. Stoicism, on the other hand, is about effectively managing your emotions. So by putting these 10 principles into practice, you can remain composed and strong in the face of rudeness and disrespect. We appreciate you watching and hope to see you in our next video for more Stoic wisdom. Please give us a thumbs up if you can, to help us reach more people looking for ancient wisdom. If you're new here, subscribe and click the notification bell for more lessons on ancient wisdom. Choose one of the videos that will show up on your screen and then remain calm.